This might sound crazy, but isolating myself has actually changed my life.
Here's where I belong now, high above the fear and doubt, so no, nothing could keep me down. Oh.
Hey guys, I hope you are having an amazing week. I just wanted to do an update video. As you may know, if you've been watching my videos, I am currently in isolation. What that means for me is I went no contact with all of my friends here so that I can focus on myself and unlearn some really bad habits that I have tried in the past to unlearn, and it's been really difficult. And what makes it worse is that I couldn't really tell that I still had these bad habits. I thought that I had gotten rid of them, or at least they have been apparent much less. No, I think I may have been just ignoring them or excusing them. We're about a month and a half into my isolation. I can't even believe it's only been a month and a half. I say this every week with my therapist. I feel like I've lived at least 2 lifetimes since the new year began. And I'm laughing because it feels kind of crazy to me. It's amazing because I'm fully aware of the kind of person I am, where if I'm focused and I'm committed and I stay on task and I continue to have the motivation to keep going, I grow pretty quickly. It's kind of, we can say it, it's kind of superhuman. As you can see, there's a little bit of delirium happening. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually more self-aware, which is why I'm laughing at things, because it's funny. I don't know, it's funny to me. I think it's also covering up a little bit of sadness. Which, even now, laughing, I'm just like, girl, what is wrong with you? I'd rather laugh at like being able to look back at my struggle and knowing what the answer to less struggling is now than be sad about it and be like, damn, we wasted so much time, which I do at times. But I really try to check myself and not do that as much, because that's just a feeling I don't want to stay in. Other than that, I am feeling pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. There were a couple of weeks, at least, I mean, the first few weeks of the new year were rough, not just because of my own personal healing and working out stuff that I was going through, but we also had some tough things happening here. We're not going to get into them, but I live in LA, so that's one. If you know, you know. 2, we're not going to get into that one. If you know, you know. I don't even have to say anything. I have been going through a lot of growing, a lot of rewiring of my brain. It's almost like somebody just turned the dial. Basically, things made sense. I understood why I was struggling to make certain decisions and to leave certain things behind and to walk away from people that didn't deserve to have me have me around. Oh, a lot of flashbacks happened. I will say that was not fun. Some of them hit really, really hard. Getting the evidence replayed to you inside your brain made it that much more impactful. Told me how much I contributed into my own nonsense, into my own heartbreak. That was a tough pill to swallow. I had to be okay with admitting it. I had to be okay with understanding it, because then I can move forward. If you just dwell on things like that, you'll stay in it forever and you'll never move forward. Mentally, my brain is clearer. There's less noise. I didn't realize how much of an influence they had on me. There's not a lot going on up here. I mean, there is, but it's all my stuff. Like, I'm not fighting. Like, you're having a conversation with somebody who already knows what you're thinking, and you're just finishing each other's sentences, and it's like, oh my god, you get me. Emotionally, I feel okay. There are still some things happening right now that I am learning to be less affected by. I cried a lot in the very beginning. Not going to lie, not even about the isolation, but about what's just going on in the world. And during the flashbacks. When I was getting all the flashbacks, there were some things that triggered me and created waterfalls coming out of my eyes. I needed reality to, smack me in the face. I needed to take those rose-colored glasses off. Physically, I feel pretty great. I haven't been doing any like stunt training or anything yet. I'm still trying to implement a few things at a time into my schedule. I'm still getting used to this new lifestyle of mine that I've decided that I wanted for myself. So I'm still implementing some things. I've been going to the gym 4 days a week. I have my own like fitness plan. ChatGPT helps me out with that. I feel like I'm getting stronger faster now. I feel like I'm seeing the changes in my body faster than before. And before I was going like 4 to 5 times a week. I guess not being able to run to people to just like blah, vent. I found other ways. I have a therapist, so I just give it all to her. Listen, I'm paying you to hear me out. I started utilizing journaling as a way to do that as well. It's really not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I'm actually having a blast getting to know myself, getting to focus on myself without having to choose between one or the other. I mean, the only one or the other I'm choosing is Haven. It hasn't really gotten too hard. I think in the moments when I started realizing some things, maybe those, like in those moments, it seemed really, really hard, but it's grieving, But that also didn't last very long. I didn't grieve very long. I probably cried for a couple of hours while I was in those thoughts and just going through the motions. And then I was good once I was able to focus on something else. I'm like, oh, okay, we're good now. I think we just needed to grieve a little bit. I found solutions, which I also wanted to find because I really didn't like, as much as it has become normalized for at least girlfriends to go to each other and just like trauma dump or vent about everything that's going on in their life. I didn't want to do that anymore. I was tired. I felt like a child doing that. I don't, I know it's normal and I know people are okay with it, but I'm not. So if I'm not okay with it, I need to not do that or put that on other people. Having some flashbacks had made me wonder if I had learned how to set boundaries and stand on them, like stick by them, implement them. I wonder how many of my friendships would still be here today if I had implemented boundaries. Because when I look back, the way I'm feeling now, I would have ended some friendships because the lack of respect, the not taking what I'm saying serious, the only doing what makes them feel good, what they want to do, regardless of how it makes me, regardless of what I've said or how I feel or the kind of person I am. If I had boundaries back then and had self respect and did not question myself, had the confidence to stand by my feelings, my instincts, my intuition, I would not have some of these friendships. And I can say that confidently. I very much don't like wishy washy behavior. I very much don't like me having to continuously tell somebody how I want to be treated or what crosses the line for me or what I don't like and what I'm okay with. And yet people don't think about that when they're doing things or when they're treating me a certain way. Like it's not crossing their mind. And if it does cross their mind, it's not enough for them to care because they care more about how they feel and what they want to do and their desires more than they care about how I feel, what I need to be okay, what makes me feel respected and seen and heard and cared for. I've definitely gained some confidence because now I'm okay with being misunderstood. I have accepted that that's just going to be a part of my life and that's just who I am and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. It felt like a bad thing for a very long time because I felt very pushed to the side. Not that people ever made me feel like I wasn't included, but I didn't feel included because I didn't have the same experiences. I didn't do the same things, understand the same way people did. I had a different way of feeling, different way of thinking, and until I started, forcing myself to fit in, and then I became a little bit of a sheep. Wasn't my favorite phase. I embodied conflict. That's what I felt like. That I was always meant to be somebody that people always had a problem with. Put it this way, my friends would call me a walking mirror. I made people see themselves when they dealt with me. I kind of forced it onto them, and some people did not like it, but others it kind of challenged them to grow. It's a good thing and it's a superpower that like I'm grateful for, but I just always felt like an issue. Just felt like I needed to shush a lot more than I should be talking and sharing. I've gained some memory. There were some flashbacks that happened that I actually don't remember at all happening ever in my life. They were not my best moments. I do see the purpose of why those flashbacks happened and also why they came now, because I think if I would have gotten those flashbacks when I was still hanging around my friends, I don't know how I would feel. I don't know how I would have been affected by them, but because I am with myself and the only other person that I'm speaking to deeply, in that way, sharing myself in that way is my therapist. So I have somebody who's going to talk me through things and help me understand who I was, or, the kind of person I was back then, or the kind of environment I was growing up in and that I've only ever known. Things like that did lead to me not making the best of decisions. I started making my bed pretty much first thing in the morning. It's so much fun, especially with my little helper, Haven. She's not actually helping me, but she does make it a little fun because she's running around on the bed while I'm doing it, so it's hilarious. I don't know. I think it's fun. Some people might get annoyed by it. I don't. I've been reading again. I've already finished one book. I am 3 chapters away from finishing another book. The book is called Outwitting the Devil. I'm having so much fun learning about how things like fear, jealousy, anxiety, self-doubt, how things like that like sabotage my dreams, my passions, my future, my confidence in making my goals happen. I started listening to Abraham Hicks again. I needed to start listening to them again because 2022 was an incredible year for me, and I was listening to Abraham Hicks every morning, changing my life, rewiring my brain, making me think about what I want and speaking it into existence, redoing my demo reel, my acting demo reel. I used to think I needed to put so many little things into my acting reel as much as I possibly can that shows them how much of a star I am. And it didn't always have to do with me having lines. Like, it was sometimes me just being in music videos. They only need to see the first 20, 30 seconds of your video to see if they're, like, to know if they're interested in seeing you audition. So, besides what I have mentioned earlier, which was, realizations, but the lessons that I would say lessons that I have learned would be take responsibility for your impact on your life, for your decision making, for the people you continue to have around you, for your feelings, for the emotions that you choose to emote. Because there is a choice. Obviously, feelings are feelings. I'm not saying to deny them. I'm speaking for myself. I don't like how bothered I get by some things, because once I'm over it and I look back, I'm like, dang, why did I spend so much time being so like bothered by that? Why did I let that affect me so much? You aren't a priority to anybody else. At the end of the day, they are their priority. If being there for somebody else or doing something for somebody else jeopardizes who you are or goes against your beliefs, interrupts your life, no. Be childlike if you want to. There's a lot of moments during this time where I got to tap into my inner child and just like have some cute little moments with myself and enjoy some little things that I would have as a kid. I am really just letting things take its course. I'm really open to what's coming. How long do I plan on doing this? As long as it takes. I mentally kind of prepared myself for a year. I am here for the growth. I am here to discover myself, to love myself, and I'm coming for exactly what I deserve, which is everything. Thank you guys so much for being here. I feel like during this conversation, I kind of learned a little bit more about me and I kind of put some things together in the process. So thank you guys for being here for that. I hope you're having a beautiful week and I wish you an even better week ahead. Until next time, stay beautiful and stay kind.
Here's where I belong.